Yo, 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 what's going on, everyone? Hope you guys are having a great night. Here we are. It must be Monday. It's a rough night. I don't know how anyone is still awake after this god-awful show that we just had to sit through. Let me get up my list here. And oddly enough, while I was getting ready to post everything, get everything live and ready to go, AEW just posted this Shaq. We'll be talking to Tony Schiavone on Dynamite this Wednesday. What in the world is going on with that? Good Lord. Anyways, thank you guys for being here. Marco, thank you. Chloe, thank you. Zach, 4:13 a.m. in England. That is absolutely insane. How are you still awake? I personally wouldn't even be able to watch Raw if it was going on for that long. What is that? 1 to 4 o'clock in the morning? Absolutely brutal. Looking forward to this. Made the show more manageable. Good. I'm glad. Hopefully we'll have a little bit of discussion here. There's actually a lot to talk about. Chloe, you're having a Detective AOW shirt made on Friday. Awesome. You'll have to send me a picture of that. You have to send me a picture. First time catching, can't wait. Thank you, Eddie. 6 subs until 500. Nice. We're getting up there. I'm very happy. Very happy. This is a lot of fun to do. This Raw dragged, felt like a 4-hour show. Absolutely, Warrior. To me, it felt even longer. It was brutal. especially the last hour of the show. How's it going, Scotty? Thank you for tuning in. I appreciate it. So anyways, just wanted to take one more night to say rest in peace to the great Pat Patterson. We all know how great he was to the wrestling business. Seemed like an absolutely outstanding man. Everyone has said nothing but the greatest things about him. So one more time, rest in peace to the great Pat Patterson. You may be gone, but you will never be forgotten. So here we go. Our first must be Monday of all time. I've been waiting for this. I knew that Winter's Coming was going to be fantastic, and I assumed that NXT would be good as well if we did end up talking about that. So I wasn't too worried about it. I was a little bit oddly enough, I was a little bit disappointed that SmackDown was good because I wanted to shoot some here and have a little bit of fun, but they actually delivered. So here we are. Here we are. Must be Monday. Feels great to say. Feels great to steal someone else's slogan. AEW's licking his lips, getting ready. That's right. That is right. This show had a lot of stuff going on, and really not much interesting happened. So let's do a quick rundown of tonight's show so that if you didn't pay attention to the show, you kind of know what's going on, what we're kind of in store for tonight if you're tuning in for the first time. So once again, this show opened up with a great tribute to Pat Patterson. It's good stuff. Opening promo between Randy Orton and Bray Wyatt, where Orton challenged him to a match tonight. Asuka versus Shayna Baszler. Ricochet and Dana Brooke versus Retribution's Slapnuts and Reckoning. Miz TV segment with AJ Styles, Drew McIntyre, and Sheamus. Kofi Kingston versus Shelton Benjamin, but wait, we're not quite done yet. Kofi Kingston versus Cedric Alexander right afterwards. Then we had WWE Champion Drew McIntyre and Sheamus versus The Miz, John Morrison, and AJ Styles in a handicap match. Then we had United States Champion Bobby Lashley versus Jeff Hardy. And finally, to finish off the show tonight, we had Randy Orton versus the Firefly Funhouse Bray Wyatt. So quite a bit to talk about. A 3-hour show is too long. Way too long. I'm just going to get that in here right now. 3 hours is too long. Please, if someone is listening, please, for the love of God, make this show 2 hours long. If this show would have ended right at the end of Drew McIntyre, Sheamus, the handicap match or whatever, it would be so much more tolerable to watch. The final hour is always brutal. I always finding myself checking any sort of clock and just like, get over. I'm falling asleep. This is the worst thing ever. So please, for the love of God, just take the loss in the money and make it 2 hours. 2-hour Raw is not good shit, pal. I know, man. You gotta line those pockets. You gotta line those pockets. Obi James, why is Raw 3 hours? It's 3 hours because they make a shit ton of money from advertising. And I'm sorry, I meant a shit ton of money from advertising. Alex Silver says, did you mean bro nuts? Yes. I loved the bro nuts segment thing. Detective AOW, I knew you'd come. Detective AOW is everywhere. It's always watching. So anyways, let's go ahead and kick off the podcast here. We'll talk about the opening segment here between Randy Orton and Bray Wyatt. Not much to hate here, to be honest. Randy Orton is still incredibly good on the mic, as you all would have figured, and Bray Wyatt is a genius. So pairing them together obviously is going to come off pretty well. I really liked it. I did not want to see Randy Orton going into the Firefly Funhouse. So I'm really glad that he just ended up challenging him to a match instead of running that through. I don't like, for me, like when Seth Rollins showed up and when everyone's favorite authority, not so authority figure Adam Pearce showed up as the mailman, I don't really like it. Like, I don't know. I guess I still am in that spot where I don't quite understand what the Firefly Funhouse is or is supposed to be. Like, I always felt like the Firefly Funhouse was just kind of in his head and was just kind of like a thing that we're seeing or something like that. I don't really like that it's just a physical place that any of us can walk to at any time. It just kind of takes the magic and like the special stuff away from it. I don't know. Maybe you guys feel a little bit different about it. I don't know. But I'm really glad they didn't do that. And I'm not mad at seeing Randy Orton and Bray Wyatt on a match on Raw. It's not often that we see Firefly Funhouse Bray anyways in person. So I don't have any problem with that. Bray, Randy, and Alexa are the only reason I can go to watch this awful show. Yeah, I mean, honestly, they're doing great, but you know, Drew McIntyre is fantastic as well. He's done a great job. The thing that he's involved in right now is not that good, but Drew McIntyre is fantastic. Man, if anyone has grown this year, it's Drew McIntyre. The guy is phenomenal right now. Absolutely killing it. He looks like a star. He feels like a star. Everything he does is great. On his side, at least. The handicap match, not that great. But Drew McIntyre is fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. Oh yeah, what happened to Adam Pearce? He disappeared after saying Drew McInfart. That's right. We haven't seen him yet, huh? We haven't seen him since then. Maybe he got in trouble. I don't even know how one would even begin to mess up McIntyre and fart and combine them in something together. I have no idea how that's even possible. But I don't know. Maybe he got in trouble from it. He did post on social media a couple days ago that he was looking for an assistant maybe and posted a picture of Billy Kay. So I hope that comes to fruition. I would love to see Billy Kay as the GM on SmackDown. That would be very interesting. Yeah. Back to the opening segment here. Randy Orton and Bray Wyatt, nothing to complain about. I thought it was great. Like I said, I'm glad that they canceled Randy Orton going to the Firefly Funhouse. Match made for, apparently, I didn't know this, but it was going to be the main event of the show. I really thought the handicap match was going to be that. But, you know, it was all good. Then after that, the following match, we had Asuka versus Shayna Baszler, which I wasn't mad at all either. I was like, hey, I can't be mad at this. Asuka, amazing. Shayna Baszler, amazing, right? Boy, boy, was I wrong. Boy, was I wrong. Man, I don't know why they do this to these people, but Asuka is so good. Shayna Baszler is so good. Why are they involved in this? Why is this a thing? Can no one in this world, I'm not even going to ask, because you cannot make sense of this garbage. How is this a thing? Like, how do you take people that are so loved and so talented and just put them in something so bleh? Like the cookie cutter distraction roll up. Really? Really? For Asuka and Shayna Baszler? Why? We know that the tag match is going to lack a little bit, right? So why not let them deliver here? Why not? And now, not only this, but now next week we have to watch Lana go up against Big Oof. Who wants to see this? It's not me. It's not me. I'm not the target audience for this. I don't get it. I don't understand at all. I absolutely do not understand. And like the whole thing with this Asuka thing, she's the Raw Women's Champion. So what's going on? Are there no challengers? Is there no one that can step up to the plate? It doesn't make sense. And the whole thing with the WWE Women's Tag Team Championships is supposed to be that they can float and go around anywhere. They don't float around anywhere. They haven't done anything. Like, they're just on Raw. I don't get it. I don't get it. at all. Like NXT, if they're going to have the WWE Women's Tag Team Championships, for the love of God, have someone go to NXT and lose them there. Those teams, the women down in NXT, would really, really, really benefit from having those. They're so good. And you could form a bunch of makeup teams. They have Dakota Kai and Raquel Gonzalez, but you know, they're probably going to have her in the women's championship feud, but you know, I'm sure they could make it work there. And NXT has the best women's division in the world. So make it work. Make it work. Who should win the tag titles from NXT? I don't know. Like I was saying, Dakota Kai and Raquel Gonzalez, they're a duo together. That would work for me. You have Candice LeRae and Indy Hartwell now. They're a duo. That would work. I'm sure there's other ones that I'm forgetting. Like they have who is it? They have Casey Catanzaro and Caden Carter working together quite often, I feel like. So, I mean, you could even just have them challenge for them. Like these people don't necessarily have to be the champions or win them, but at least go down there and defend them. Like this review is going to be 12 hours long of just ranting. Yeah, I don't think I would do that to anyone. I'm sure everyone's kind of tired and pooped already from this 3-hour show. So we'll try to make it the average like hour or so. We'll see. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. Oh my God, it's already been 16 minutes. Wow, 16 minutes and we're just getting started. They shouldn't have broke up the Iconics. Absolutely, Jaden. And it makes even less sense because the first thing that they did was pair Peyton Royce with Lacey Evans. Why? Why? The Iconics are so good, man. They're so good. There's teams in NXT, they might as well bring it to NXT. Exactly, Rated C. Exactly. Like Mira said, Asuka is just the best at everything. She and Big Bag Shayna are great. Big Oof and Lana storyline needs to end like yesterday. I agree, Fabian. I agree. And yeah, I would agree that Asuka and Shayna are just amazing. Like they can slip into those roles. But I don't know. The feud's just not good. I don't like it. And the whole thing with the Lana thing, like I've said this time and time again already. I think at least I did on Friday. And this has nothing to do with Lana. I love Lana. Okay. I think Lana's great. And I was saying that, you know, I can't fault Lana for doing the best that she can. She's always trying to learn. She's always trying to do better. She's always trying to get better. She's always trying to make this work. I can't fault her for that, but I hate the storyline of her just existing and being rewarded for it. If you want to show me that you want to push Lana and you want to show people that she's great, you should probably push Lana and show people that she's great. Put her in the matches with Natalya, who she trains with. She could work well with her and do the things that she needs to do to be built up. I don't want to see Lana win Survivor Series just by standing there. And I don't think anyone else does either. It's cool that she gets the spotlight, but it's under bad circumstances, if you ask me. I don't like it at all. And I really don't like the whole thought of who I'm just going to assume at this point with the whole hokey Royal Rumble finish. I'm assuming it's going to be her. And if that's the case, I just don't want to see it. Like, at least let her eliminate someone. I'm not saying that she has to be dominant and enter as number one and eliminate 25 people, but like, man, show her working for it. At least. They keep saying Lacey and Peyton aren't a tag team. Yeah, but they're kind of like, they're the tag team that is just kind of like butting heads with each other, right? So they're like, oh, we're not a tag team, but we got to work together. It's brutal. I wish WWE did better with Retribution, says Matt. Yeah, we'll talk about that in a couple minutes as well. That might be a decent portion of tonight's show as well. We're going to talk about Retribution. This is the first time I've had the chance to talk about Retribution, so we're going to talk about Retribution. That's for sure. They broke up the Iconics just to pair Peyton with Lacey and still not be on TV. Yeah, it's brutal. I don't understand it. It doesn't make sense. I don't understand what goes through their minds when they write these things. To make matters worse, Billie Kay challenged the Riot Squad to a tag match on SmackDown with a mystery partner. Are you serious? So, so they split both of them up only for both of them to end up back in teams. What are the chances? What are the chances of that mystery partner being Peyton Royce? Because, like, I mean, the draft, who cares, right? I mean, we're all at that point, right? Who cares what brand people are on, I guess. That would be cool. I don't know who else it would be. They did that whole thing with the Riot Squad too. They broke all of them up. And then now they're back together. Well, aside from Sarah Logan, obviously, because she was released and is pregnant. So I'm glad to see the Riot Squad back together, though. I think they deserve each other. Am I the only one who sees Becky Lynch returning at the Rumble and winning it? I don't know, Alex. That seems pretty soon. That seems pretty soon after having a child. And with Becky gone, I mean, I know they haven't done the greatest job of it so far, but I would like to see them shine light on others currently. Also, Zia Lee might get a tag team partner in NXT, so we might have 4 teams. Absolutely. And that whole thing that they're doing is crazy. I don't know. I know a lot of people have speculated on who it is, and I'm not sure that I've ever heard of that person before, but man, I'm invested. I'm really invested in that now. Those vignettes are awesome. I hated it at first. It wasn't very good, but now that I see this creepy grudge looking lady, oh yeah. Give me some more of that. Give me some more. Who's going to face Asuka for the Raw Women's Championship? I have no idea. I have absolutely no idea. I don't even know who's on the shows, to be honest, these days. I guess your best choice right now would be Dana Brooke, right? Who has pinned Mia Yim twice in a row on Raw. So there you go. There's your next Raw Women's Championship feud. Asuka and Mia Yim. Or sorry, Dana Brooke, not Mia Yim. What am I talking about? Watch Peyton disguise herself like Otis did for Tucker. Chloe, I would love that, actually. I would really love that. That was the whole thing. I saw someone talking about how they were like, oh, I actually wouldn't mind the Iconics being broken up as long as they did some goofy stuff to stay together. Like they put on wigs or dressed up a little bit and were like, hey, I'm not Billy or I'm not Peyton, but then they still tag together as well. I like that. Brace yourselves, Detective AOW is coming to talk about Retribution. That's right. The Foot Clan is on my mind tonight. And we're going to get to that in just a second here. On Talking Smack. Oh, okay. So that was announced like Friday or Saturday? Is that when Talking Smack is on? Saturday morning? Oh, watch it be Tamina? Yeah, it could be. That would not be good. You know, Naomi is on Raw, actually, I think. So that wouldn't work out. I think it's Eva Marie because I read that she's listed on the internal roster. Yep. Yeah, I heard that. I read that today as well. She supposedly signed a deal in September. And I think they were supposed to pull the trigger on her debuting a while ago, but maybe they held off because everyone found out. But yeah, the thing I read today is it said that she's still a member of the internal roster and she'll probably be making her debut soon. So I guess that would be a perfect fit right there. Raw hasn't been the same without Becky. Yeah, I would agree. She's definitely missed. And you know, I wasn't the biggest fan of Charlotte in her last run since she was literally on all 3 shows, taking up everyone's championships and everyone's times. But she's missed as well because she's a big part of the women's division. So it'll be interesting to see them come back and see where they fit in, especially with the rumor of Andrade coming back and having Charlotte, I think it was saying, as his like talking piece to help elevate him into the main event scene. So that'll be really interesting to see how that works, like how that dynamic will work. And I'm totally have no problem with seeing Charlotte just in a manager role for Andrade. I think that could be good, and I think not that he needs much elevating, at least in my eyes, because in my eyes, I think he's a main eventer. But maybe to the others that don't think so, maybe she'll be the one to be able to help change your mind about that. Do you think Lana should be off TV for at least 2 years and then come back with at least a decent character that everyone will like and won't be cringe? No, I don't think so. 2 years is a long time in WWE TV. I couldn't even tell you what happened 2 years ago. Even early pandemic WWE stuff seems like it was 10 years ago. It feels like so long ago. So long. So no, and I think I like Lana, like I was saying. I think all of this, or most of this, comes down to just bad booking. It really does. Like the stories just aren't interesting. So if you just give people interesting stories that fit with their characters or fit with their personalities, and you don't give them these god awful scripts that some dude in the back wrote that's never met Lana in her life, stop having these people write these things. You know, they don't need it. They don't need it. Not at all. And I'll kind of get into that a little bit with the Miz TV stuff in just a minute. You want to see Lacey versus Asuka? Are they on the same brand? Are Lacey and Peyton? They are. Lacey and Peyton are on Raw. Interesting. For a 3-hour show, improve tag team and mid-card division first. Yeah, Eamon. Yeah, I think it would be pretty easy. I mean, running a 3-hour show is going to be difficult, but I think it would be a lot easier for them to book their shows if they had a deeper roster, or a deeper roster that they'll actually use, because their rosters are pretty deep. They just don't use them for some reason. Like Angel Garza, they posted, he was on main event with Keith Lee, in a match with Keith Lee, but he wasn't on Raw tonight. And yet they posted another one of his Rose segments on their Twitter. So it's like, what good does having Angel Garza hand a rose to the cameraman for 8 weeks in a row? What does that do for him? Like, I don't need to see that. And I've already seen Angel Garza wrestle for a long time, and he's great. So why are you taking him off my TV? It's just, I don't know, man. It doesn't make sense. Zach Stone says Naomi for the Hurt Business now. Absolutely. Put Naomi in the Hurt Business ASAP. Yesterday. Like, do it right now. I would love to see, like, they've done a lot with the stables recently. They've been pairing up quite a bit of people and stuff. I would love to see more intergender one. And currently the only intergender one, to my knowledge, is the Foot Clan. And the Foot Clan is the worst. So let's go ahead and throw Naomi with the Hurt Business. That would be so good. So good. What have I missed? Not very much, Blitzball. Just the opening segment and the Asuka and Shayna Baszler stuff so far. What do you hope the UE does? I don't know. I hope they stay on NXT for a little bit. I hope they do. I'm not sure what else there is to do for them, but I don't know. I don't see them benefiting from moving up, to be honest. Maybe they can be one of the lucky ones to move to Raw and actually not fall back or be made a fool of. If someone needs to be the power couple in WWE, those are Andrade and Charlotte. I would agree. That would be great. I would love to see that. On the bright side, at least we're not sitting through a 3-hour Raw at the Performance Center only to watch a bunch of old WrestleMania matches, 1 match and 3 promos. Oh man. Yeah. The first few episodes of the pandemic era of wrestling, oh my God, those were the worst things I've ever watched in my life. Like it hurts my soul to even just read that and remember that I had to watch the Boneyard match like 30 times and just random things over and over and over again that were recent. Like, if you're going to replay stuff, at least play something older. Like, it doesn't have to happen last week, but like, give us something that's like 2 or 3 years old. Detective AOW, can you answer why is Keith Lee on main event? I'm not sure why he was on main event tonight. He had a match against Angel Garza, and he spoiler alert, he beat Angel Garza. But he was on Raw tonight as well. He didn't have a match, but he was in a very brief segment with Sheamus. So I'm not sure. Maybe they're just trying to fill content for main event. Maybe they just used him because he wasn't being in a match tonight. He wasn't being used in a match. So they kind of just used what they had. That would be my guess. Just the free guys. I don't know if it's possible, but do you think Andrade should return as La Sombra? No, I don't think they will be able to do that. I don't think they would do that either, because that would involve him putting a mask on, and WWE thinks that we're all stupid. So they would probably never figure out that we would understand that La Sombra is Andrade, even if they mention it a million times. Imagine having Keith Lee and Angel Garza on main event. I know, crazy, right? Jaden says, I thought VKM liked Garza. I think he does. But what I was just saying is I think it's just I don't know how main event works because I don't watch it. I've never paid attention to it. So I'm just going to go ahead and say they weren't being used tonight. So they just kind of did what they had to do to fill a slot. That's what I'm going to go with. Remember when Angel Garza was fighting for the Cruiserweight Championship? Good times. Yes. The Hurt Business saves Raw. Yeah, the Hurt Business, Randy Orton, and Bray Wyatt. And Drew McIntyre. I'll throw Drew McIntyre in there as well because he's great. The rest of Raw is just garbage. I just watched the Keith Lee documentary and was sold on him being the next face of the company, and now he's on main event. I don't think it's anything to worry about. I wouldn't worry about him being on main event. He was still on Raw this week, so I would say give that one some time. I think they have a lot of faith in Keith Lee. A lot of faith. There was a report saying the Undisputed Era might get called up to Raw. I think a lot of people were thinking that just because they were wearing red gear. It seems like. I don't know. It might happen. Raw could use them. I just don't have faith in WWE writers or management to handle them correctly. So, but anyways, Asuka and Shayna Baszler, you guessed it. It ended in a distraction roll-up finish. Typical WWE, my first must-be Monday of the night. Distraction roll-up finish. You hate to see it. So what had happened here was Big Oof just randomly wanted to attack Lana at the side of the ring. She went to go throw her into the steel steps, but Lana ended up falling down and pushing her into the stairs, which led to great shock from everyone. As Nia Jax was recovering and getting up, Lana jumped on top of her from the steps, and Big Oof ended up kind of capitalizing, and looked like she was about to powerbomb her into the announce table. So we were gonna run back that whole thing again, but Lana ended up kind of turning it into some sort of a Hurricane Rana, and she ended up launching Big Oof onto the table herself. This made Shayna Baszler's mind explode into 20 million thousand kajabillion pieces. She completely forgot that she was in a match against Asuka, and instead she was talking a bunch of trash and following Lana around the ring as she was kind of like walking out a little bit. And as soon as she got to the ramp, she was still talking trash, and you guessed it, Asuka snuck up behind her and rolled her up for that sweet 1, 2, 3. Absolutely terrible. When you have people the caliber of Asuka and Shayna Baszler, you should not be doing a distraction roll-up finish, okay? Please don't. Please don't. Just don't do it. We don't need to see it again. Keep these things as a shock factor. Keep these things not like more rare, obviously, because when it happens, it's more like oh, did you just see that? That's the whole thing with, like, I hate that I'm going to use this as an example, but Leon Ruff as an example, you know, someone who's like a huge underdog, right? He doesn't stand a chance in the match. Bam, roll up, huge shock. And then he can run something back another time or continue a feud in some way with someone. This was not it. This is clearly just lazy writing in my book. And I even posted something on it. Let me see here. just so that I don't butcher the order that I placed everything in. But anyways, you have these these lazy writings where you just take, in this instance, a tag team, right? So you have Lana and Asuka versus Big Oof and Shayna Baszler. One team wins. Let's say Lana and Asuka win, right? So then you go from there. Your next week, Asuka versus Shayna Baszler. The week after that, Asuka versus Big Oof. The week after that, Lana versus Shayna Baszler. The week after that, Lana versus Big Oof. The week after that, Lana and Asuka versus Big Oof and Shayna Baszler. This match is probably going to end in some sort of disqualification, some sort of weird, cheaty, hokey finish, a double count out, you name it. And then guess what? You nailed it. They run it back once again. Lana and Asuka versus Big Oof and Shayna Baszler. That is that is the WWE tag team feud summed up perfectly in a nice little package that you can give someone for Christmas. It's terrible. They're doing the same thing currently on the same exact show with the New Day and the Hurt Business. The same exact thing. And I guess I'll kind of wait to talk about that because that is on the list of things to talk about as well. But like, man, come up with some original stuff. Stop doing the same thing over and over, or at least stop doing the same thing over and over on the same show. I mean, Jesus. I mean, at least we didn't see 6 disqualifications in a row tonight. So I'm kind of happy about that. At least I give them big props for not doing the same thing, the same exact finish over the entire night. So shout out to them for that. Next, we have Ricochet and Dana Brooke taking on the Foot Clan's Slapjack and Reckoning. You may also know Slapjack as Slap Nuts. And this match was just kind of a mesh together of the previous weeks. So you had Ricochet, I can't remember correctly, but I think Slapnuts beat Ricochet, if I remember correctly. And then Dana Brooke beat Mia Reckoning, is her name, twice, or no, just once. That was the match with her mask falling off, exposing her true identity, as if we never knew who it was. So we ended up having a mixed match night. Ricochet and Dana Brooke versus Slapnuts and Reckoning. And I did not have Dana Brooke beating Reckoning with one move on my list of things to happen tonight. Oh man, Reckoning got the tag in. Dana Brooke and Reckoning, they both got into the ring. Reckoning drop kicked the living hell out of Dana Brooke's face. It looked brutal, to be honest with you. And then bam, Dana Brooke did one move. I can't remember what it was. It kind of looked like a I don't know. I don't know how to describe it. I can't remember now. Picture up one move and she got the 3 count. One move. Why is this a thing? It's so bad. It's the worst thing I've ever seen. Retribution is so terrible. There's nothing good about it. Nothing. And oh man, none of it makes sense at all. And we're about to dive into that here. Retribution, the biggest failure in 2020. Yeah, in terms of like a wrestling stable or wrestling thing, yeah, I'm gonna go with you there, James. Retribution is the absolute worst. You think they're trying to make Retribution weak so they can go their separate ways and be repackaged? I mean, why even waste your time? Like, just repackage them. No one needs to see this. I think there's very few people that actually enjoy this. Like, it's probably pretty small. And it seems like the most people that do support them just kind of support T-Bar and his like Twitter troll antics for the most part. So I don't know, like, just get rid of it. Take these guys off of my screen right now, please. It doesn't make sense. None of it. None of it. They made this whole debut, right? Where they're here to destroy WWE. They're here to do anything that it takes to destroy the company. And you know what? You know what, Vince McMahon? I hope you don't like this box, because I'm gonna throw it down on the floor. I'm so angry. I'm gonna knock over this box, and I'm gonna cause pure chaos. It means you're gonna have one of your janitors that you pay $7.25 an hour. He's gonna have to come over and pick up this box. Like, oh God, don't knock over the boxes. What are you, a cat? Like, come on. And then, oh, they turn off the lights. Oh, don't turn off the lights. As if a million people haven't done that before. Like, if you're gonna turn off the lights, beat the hell out of everyone. Destroy the Thunderdome set. Destroy the Titantron. Beat the hell out of people. Do anything other than knock over a box and turn off the lights. Like, what? And how does this correlate with destroying WWE for being... I don't even think they mentioned that they did it because they were looked over, right? I don't think they mentioned that until later. I think that's something that Mustafa Ali brought in later. So it's like you have this thing where it's like, hey, this could kind of be cool, right? Like a group of people who are pissed off, they're hell-bent on destroying the company, and it's like, okay. And then they knock over a box, and you're like, wait, what? And they're talking about it as if they're doing something crazy. They locked someone in the That's what they did. Some poor soul was taking a dookie and they locked him in the bathroom. Pure chaos. Pure chaos. I've never seen such chaos before in my life. I don't get it. And then what happened? There was like 30 of them, right? There was a ton of them. Tons of Retribution people. And not only that, but they literally changed every single week. There was different people. So we 100% saw Chelsea Green under one of those hoods at some point. Now, I don't know if they were just having these people fill in just because they were bodies and they wanted them to, but Chelsea Green was 100% one of them. And when they broke the window in front of the Performance Center, Tommaso Ciampa was one of them too. So, whew, boy, I was sweating when I saw that. I was like, no, not my boy Ciampa. Not Ciampa. No, please. Even with Ali, it's not going to work. And so I agree with you, but I do appreciate what they're doing. They're trying to, at least Ali, he's trying to make it make sense. I see him on Twitter trying to make sense of it, about how they were supposed to have a segment on a show, but the segment ended up getting pulled, and he was like, oh, they're just trying to hold us back or whatever. It's like, okay, cool. I see what you're doing. I respect it. I respect what you're doing. I know that you're trying to get this over, and I know that you're trying to make us interested in it, but I'm sorry. It's not going to work. It's not going to work. There's not a single thing that any of these guys can do to make it work. And that's just, they're too far gone. They're way too far gone. And the worst part about all of it is they took my favorite gimmick. My favorite gimmick. They took Hackerman 5000 and just completely killed it. Completely killed it. For no rhyme, no reason, no benefit for anyone. Retribution is just in the back having giving a promo, and Ali's like, hey, you remember the Hacker Man? That was me. And that's it. That's all they did. Nothing. No more. Like, what? Where's the hacks? Where's the truth? I thought you were telling me the truth about something. Why are you not exposing these people? Isn't that what this was all about in the beginning? Exposing people with backstage segments that we didn't see? I don't get it. That's why I hate Retribution. I can't stand it. None of it makes sense. They've flip-flopped so many times in so many different directions that the story just doesn't make sense. And then you have these guys who are, I'm not sure, I don't think I mentioned this, but you have these guys who they're like, well, these guys, they're hell-bent on destroying WWE. And then the next week they're in the middle of the ring and they're like, yeah, that's right. We signed WWE contracts. What? Why? Why would you sign a WWE contract even though you're trying to destroy the company? I mean, cool, I guess get paid, right? But like, storyline wise, it just doesn't make sense at all. We should thank Ali for giving us the Mandy and Sonya feud. Yeah, like why isn't this acknowledged at all? Why don't they play off of that? Why is there no, what is the truth? All the vignettes at the beginning all said the truth will be heard or the truth will be told or something along those lines. Where is it? We haven't seen any of it. The Hacker Man, I feel like, is one of the most promising gimmicks they could have had, especially in today's age with all the technology for everything, and especially now with the WWE Thunderdome being completely technology based. Like, why aren't you hacking things? Why aren't you hacking match cards or something like that, you know, for yourself? Just be like, hey, I'm scheduled for a United States Championship match. And they're like, no, you didn't. You're not on the card. Look, we have it on Google Sheets, whatever the hell they use. And it's like, hey, penciled in. Bobby Lashley versus Mustafa Ali for the United States Championship. Wait, I didn't put that there. How'd that get there? It's like, hey, Hackerman 5000, baby. That's right. Anything is better than just knocking over boxes. So I don't know. Hack the Google Sheets, man. How hard is it? Hack the Google Sheets. So I don't know. It's a Drive document, you fool. Oh no. Not the Drive. Not the Microsoft One. Microsoft One Sheets. Like, man, just do anything. Be creative. You have a group of people who I don't even want to know how much they're getting paid. It's probably absolutely insane. Create something that's unique. Create something that's enjoyable for us to watch. And I know it might be a little difficult because they have a huge audience that they have to cater to. Kids, adults, teenagers, men, women, everything. But, you know, figure it out. I don't get paid to do that, right? Like, I'm not the one making six figures writing poop jokes for WWE. So just figure it out. And the whole thing is, if Vince doesn't like it, I feel like it's your job to write something that he does like, but that will also come across and your audience will like it as well. I certainly hope the Foot Clan doesn't delete all my Google Docs. So you might want to back him up, Jaden. You might want to back him up because you have no idea what Hackerman Mustafa Ali is capable of. You never know. Back up your pictures, back up your drives, back up your sheets, back up your iCloud, back up your music, your iTunes, back it all up. It's not safe with Retribution around. Sure you aren't. Kratos be like, well, let's plan the next Raw show. I want 3 DQs and 4 fart jokes. Let's go. Time for work. Yeah, I mean, pretty much. To me, it always seems like they're like, you know, they're just chilling, and they're like, oh man, I can't believe it's 3 o'clock already. You know, they're just chilling and catering. Man, today went by fast. It's 3. Wait, it's 3? Oh, we have a 3-hour show to watch, to write tonight. How are we gonna? Oh my God, how are we gonna write this show? Let's just make variations of last week. These guys were on the show. We'll just change this. Oh man, Keith Lee, he can't lose a match. So, I know. We'll have him get distracted and then he can get rolled up, right? Because he's not going to look stupid. Yeah, he's going to look strong still. That's right. That's right. Yeah, I like that. Okay. Oh, yeah, we'll do this. And then, you know, we'll have the Miz not cash in or not tease anything. And we'll just run the same thing back. Like, come on. Put some effort into the show, for the love of God. That's one of the things. I usually don't like to talk about the cross-brand things here, but one of the big things that I like about AEW is that they at the end of the show, they're pretty much announcing their next show. So you already know what you're in for, and they're already building for it. So I really wish they would get into the flow of doing something like that as well. And I've talked about it before, but it's kind of like you have to live with the ups and downs of announcing your show in advance. So obviously, announcing your show in advance will tell people exactly what they're going to see when they tune in. Obviously, you leave some, to be discovered amongst the show when it happens, but that's a good thing and a bad thing, because if your show's not good, people will just decide not to tune in. But on the other side, if you book your show well and you have a good show going, then bam, there you go. You have your viewers. So it's kind of like a double-edged sword, but if their booking was better, maybe they would do it. It's insane. Hey, AOW, I was the one that called Flo Billy Kay. Oh, nice. I remember reading that one. Oh, also, don't forget to make Asuka dance around. Yes, we need that. And I'm not going to complain about that because I love it. I love it. The argument that I've heard for people that defend the current product is that half the WWE's viewership is casual fans who watched back in the day, like that old type of writing. But here's the thing. Times have changed. And yes, the Attitude Era was great. We all know, right? Trust me, I watched it myself. But the Attitude Era wasn't perfect. It certainly had its bad segments too. And just because they were a little more distasteful or a little more, I don't know, they played a little bit more into the shock value, doesn't mean it was all good, because it certainly was not. There's still a lot of bad segments and a lot of bad parts of the Attitude Era. And that was 20 years ago? No, it was longer than 20 years ago. It was like 25 years ago. Like, times have changed, man. Times have changed a lot, especially recently in the past couple of years. The things that people did and said 5, 6, 7, 8 years ago are not acceptable in today's era of things. And that goes for anything. You see people getting exposed for things that they said on Twitter 10 years ago, and they're losing their jobs. They're losing their lives because of it. They're ruining their careers, everything. It's all gone. So stuff like that is not viable today. And I don't really think that's a good excuse. I think right now it's just Bruce Pritchard and Vince just loving each other, being buddies, writing terrible stuff. I have no idea why. I had so much hype for the Foot Clan. I thought they learned from what happened with the Nexus, but dead on day one. Yep, I agree, Brian. Dead on day one. Get into the flow. They can't even finalize a script before Vince rips it up. I know, Warrior. It's crazy. And you know, something that's really funny that I'm going to share. I haven't watched it yet, but apparently in the Liv Morgan, it's like the day of something or some sort of documentary. She's about to go out for a match a dark match that she was supposed to have, and Vince canceled it like 40 seconds before it was supposed to happen. Now, I don't understand how that even made it into the documentary. Maybe they're going to remove it once they realize that maybe they've goofed. But that's the kind of stuff that they're running on those shows. Canceling an entire match within 40 seconds just because she was dressed differently. And he didn't want people to see her dressed like that. Like, really? So, man, like, and I'll say this before I move on from Retribution as well, because I just thought of this. All of these guys are defending this god-awful gimmick to their, like, till their last breath. But I guarantee you, if one of them gets released or one of them doesn't renew a contract and they go elsewhere, I 100% guarantee you that they'll be talking crap about the Retribution angle, the gimmick, and everything that went into it. They'll explain everything about how it was terrible, and they'll probably explain how they wish they would have gotten out like Mercedes Martinez did, because she was in it like once or twice, saw everyone's reaction, and was like, peace. Peace, I'm done. I'm out. I am not doing this. I am done. So, yeah, I don't know. Let's go ahead and move on. We got a little bit more to talk about, and we're kind of like halfway into the show, and we're about an hour in. hour in here, so I'm assuming people are starting to fade away here. Raw's a brutal show to sit through, so I won't keep you guys here for too long. Yeah, you can go ahead and call me AOW. You can call me Cody, AOW, Detective AOW. I don't care. Whatever you want. It's all fine with me. Let's see here. 20. Okay. Even in the documentary, Liv said Ruby got in trouble because her tongue was orange. Wow, like, see, yeah, I need to watch that. I need to watch it because stuff like that is so annoying. Michael Hayes cancels it and she thinks that's a joke, and then she gets depressed by that because she hadn't been a part of the show for 5 months. Wow. It's crazy. I need to watch it. I really need to watch it. It's stuff like that's crazy. Like, these people are humans, you know, and they work their entire life to get to this point. So treating them this way, it really sucks to see people's dreams get crushed, you know, especially, I don't want to really talk about it, bring it up to extend the show, but like Chelsea Green, you know, how she tried her entire life to get to WWE and she finally is here and she's been injured twice. So it's sad to see. I hate stuff like that, especially if it's out of their hands and stuff. So anyways, let's go ahead and get on. People only defend Retribution because they're funny on Twitter. Are they? I don't really pay attention. I sometimes I see T-Bar. I see some of his when he's making fun of the ratings, and sometimes I see Mustafa Ali's. Fade away. It's 2 a.m. and I've never been this woke. Glad to hear, Leo. It's only 9 for me, so. But this was a brutal show, and I'm like, man, I don't want to do this. I don't want to do this tonight. I just want to go to bed. Fade away, 5 a.m., 8 fading away at all. Keep talking shit about the current product. Oh, sorry. Keep talking shit about the current product. We love it. It's fun. I've been waiting for this day. It's kind of fun. It's a little chaotic, to say the least. I still need to find out how to keep order on things. But I don't watch Raw. I watch Future Endeavors. That's right. And, you know, I think a lot of people do stuff like that, honestly. Ron's like 1 a.m. here. It's like a sleeping pill. I wish it kind of ended that early for me so I'd probably just fall asleep. I would just stop posting. Anyways, moving on from the god-awful thing that is Retribution, we had a Miz TV segment featuring AJ Styles. Well, I've been waiting for this day. Well, it's here. I'm going to do it 3 times a week. Maybe a little bit more. We'll see though, because I do want to do some extra things as well other than just these, and I do want to do some things on Sunday as well, but we'll talk about those maybe closer to the end when we're wrapping things up. Did you hear Vince told Dolph he couldn't be champion because of his hair? No, I don't think I heard that. I do not think so, but it sounds like a Vince thing to say. So anyways, we have a Miz TV segment featuring AJ Styles. And man, if you were 10 years old, you probably really enjoyed this segment. Basically, The Miz and John Morrison were, I don't know, making fun of the accents of Sheamus and Drew McIntyre. Pretty much just playing into their stereotypes of drinking and fighting. It's stuff like that. Eventually they had enough. Or I guess I should say eventually Sheamus had enough. And Sheamus came out, said, ha ha ha, you guys are funny. Oh, you know, your accents are on point. Real funny. Ha ha ha. Good stuff. If I was 10 years old. So eventually it goes down to them being like, well, if you want to fight this tough guy, it's a 3-on-1, and he's like, oh, really? And Drew McIntyre comes out, and they get in the ring, and then Drew McIntyre's talking about the Miz's and John Morrison's balls being in Maurice's purse, and John Morrison's balls being in the Miz's ball sack or something. I have no idea I don't understand. It's cool elementary school insults you have here. These people are not going to be talking like that at all. There's no way that you would see this happening in a real life conversation. So this plays perfectly into that part where I say that people who don't know what they're doing should not be writing for people like this. If you have things covered, write them down on a sheet and say, hey, Drew McIntyre, you are going to have a promo on Miz TV tonight. You're going to be talking against the Miz and John Morrison. Okay. Here's what I want you to hit home. This message right here. The Miz is just a little, you know, make sure that you go on that. Okay. Okay, good. I'm not going to script word for word what you say. So make sure you get the point across. Everything would be fine. Everything would be fine. So eventually what happens is, you know, AJ Styles is outside of the ring with, what's his name? Amos? The huge guy that like towers over everyone. And once they realize that they're outside, Drew McIntyre and Sheamus attack the Miz and John Morrison because they realize that they're not outnumbered. Ooh, censored, so fancy. Yes, I have a little mixer here, so I can do cool things. I can even talk in Vince McMahon voice.
That's such good shit.
So yeah. Morrison needs to get rid of the Miz and take the briefcase from him. I don't want to see the briefcase change hands again. Not at all. I don't think the briefcase needed to change hands in the first place. I'm assuming they just did it because of his TV show. I mean, I don't, and that goes with the whole thing of people winning things for no reason. Why did Otis have to win for no reason? Why couldn't he just win it? You know, I don't get it. I don't get it at all. Whoever thought of that line probably got a big raise from Vince. Yeah, he's probably like, ho, 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 ho.
Oh yeah, balls in the purse. That's such a good joke. That's such good shit.
Like, all right, man. I'm 31. All right. I don't care about people's balls being in someone's purse. And I certainly don't care about someone else's balls being in some other dude's balls, like ball sack. Like, come on. I certainly didn't care for the poop jokes that they did. I think that was against Otis, wasn't it? The poop jokes, the little toilet paper thing. Oh, man. It was bad. So that happened. And, you know, then they moved over. I thought this was going to be a saving grace. Kofi Kingston versus Shelton Benjamin. I knew you were voicing those Firefly puppets. You have to do the Vince laugh. Oh, boy. So we had Kofi Kingston and Shelton Benjamin, right? And I was expecting this to be a really good match. It didn't last as long as I thought. And Kofi Kingston got the win over Shelton. I think it was like a 5-minute match or something like that. And this goes back to the whole thing of the generic tag team booking, where they just have different variations of different matches that they can have just to kind of fill space. It seems like they're just trying to fill space until TLC. So I wouldn't be surprised if we saw Shelton and Xavier Woods next week. And it would be interesting if they ran it back again with Xavier beating Shelton and then having Cedric beat Xavier Woods again afterwards. That would be interesting. So Tucker turned on Otis with no follow through. Yeah. So wasn't the whole Otis thing because of a Tucker heel turn? Yeah. The whole thing was supposedly supposed to be Tucker turning heel on him. He cut a promo in backstage and then we never saw him again. No, that's not true. We saw him win the 24/7 championship, didn't we? Oh man. Yeah, it just, it's not good. I don't know why. And they split them up for no reason. That's another tag team that you can have for the tag team division that is completely lackluster. There's no tag team division anywhere. There's like 4 or 5 tag teams in the whole entire company that are active at the moment. Good thing it's Monday. We're 2 days away from Wednesday, NXT War Game post show. Yeah, man, Wednesdays are really the saving grace of life for me. It's nice. Watching both shows at the same time is really chaotic, but it's refreshing to see a show that's actually good and to see, you know, them actually put thought and some passion into their show. Now Tucker lost to Ricochet, a near jobber in his own right, and hasn't been seen since. Need I remind you that WWE doesn't have any teams? Yep. I don't get it, man. I don't get it. I would have loved to have seen Tucker versus Bobby Lashley. That would be an interesting match. You know? You have all these things that they could do. I'm not sure why they're not using these people. Tucker and Otis were fantastic. And Heavy Machinery, to my knowledge, I don't think they were ever even in the tag team championship scene because Otis was the Mr. Money in the Bank. So very interesting of them just to split them up and not do anything. Maybe they should run an apology angle and bring them back together or something. That would be nice. So anyways, back onto the match card for tonight. Shelton Benjamin ends up losing to Kofi and a new hyped up Cedric Alexander. I don't know what's gotten into this man's. He's angry and he's been very brutal and it's been fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. I love it. I love this new Cedric Alexander. He grabbed a mic and told Kofi that he needs to face him. He needs to come back to the ring and face me now. Good stuff from Cedric. Even in the beginning of the show, the Hurt Business was walking down the hallway and there was a box in front of Cedric. He yelled at the man, told him to get out of his way. And MVP was like, "You're feeling yourself, man. You're feeling yourself." So it's really nice. And the Hurt Business as a whole has been fantastic. Like, shout out to MVP for, if this was, I don't know if this was his idea or whatever, but MVP has saved careers here. Shelton Benjamin has been signed for years to WWE on his return, and they didn't do anything with him. They ran 2 weird, awkward little Brock Lesnar segments, and every single time afterwards, he just disappeared. So it's awesome seeing him back on Raw every week. I absolutely love Shelton Benjamin. He's one of my favorites from back in the day. I used to play Shelton Benjamin in all of the SmackDown games, so it's always great to see him here. And the Hurt Business is fantastic. It's one of the big reasons why I actually tune into the shows every week. They've done a great job. They've really helped carry the company through the pandemic era, I think. So after this match with Cedric Alexander getting the win over Kofi, I believe it was Tom Phillips on the commentary team was mentioning that they're probably going to be in line for a shot at the Raw Tag Team Championships. And I would say to you, Tom Phillips, no shit. Who else would be in contention for the Raw Tag Team Championships? There's no one else. And of course, you did your typical WWE angle of having contenders beat champions to earn their shot at championships. Like, I don't get it. I don't know why they do it, but whatever. It's cool. I hope that it ends in the Hurt Business winning the Raw Tag Team Championships from the New Day. I don't know who they would feud with at all. I don't know. Maybe they'll establish the Elias and Jackson Riker team before then so that they can have challengers there. I don't know what the New Day would do afterwards. Maybe they could bring back the King of the Ring and they could put Xavier Woods in that and focus on that. That would be amazing. Keith Lee should join the Hurt Business or something, break the mold. Keith Lee being in the Hurt Business would be cool, but I don't think he would fit personality wise. He seems like a really nice guy and he comes off on TV as a really nice guy. But man, that would be huge for the Hurt Business. And then you could have WWE champion Keith Lee, United States champion Bobby Lashley, Raw Tag Team champion Cedric Alexander and Shelton Benjamin, and then the manager MVP. That would be a huge stable. That'd be great. And then add Naomi and have her be the Raw Women's Champion, yeah, and just have them just destroy everything and just run the show. Man, that would be good. That would be real good. I would tune in for that. And that would pretty much, God, that would almost book your entire show to be full of Hurt Business people. So, be so good. Chloe says, watching AEW and eating cinnamon rolls, my highlight of Monday. That's amazing. That sounds like a good night right there. I haven't had a cinnamon roll in forever. Screw it. Give the Hurt Business SmackDown and Raw Tag Team titles to unify the division. I completely agree. I think in WWE's current state, they should unify the titles. There's nothing really going on for any of them. Like, the Street Profits aren't doing anything good either. So unify the divisions, although I'm not sure that would help us at all, because then we'd probably see one team fighting a team on Raw, and then that team would fight the other team on SmackDown, and then the next week they'd just be on every show just doing the same thing over and over and over. I don't know how they would book that. Probably not well, but anything is better than what we have now. We have no tag teams. No one's doing anything. So we just have one tag team that's fighting with the champions on both shows currently. So they're just kind of doing any sort of which variation they can of those matches to make them work. And I'm just tired of it. Even because they have tag teams, to just put Otis and Tucker back together. I don't think anyone cares at this point. Lucha House Party exists on one of the shows, SmackDown probably. Why aren't Lucha House Party only shows up when they need bodies for something? Like, I don't know. It's dumb. It's really dumb. I'm gonna have to look at their roster. Maybe I'll do that tomorrow. Maybe I'll make a post. We'll do like the tag teams, because I'm really curious. I can't think of any tag teams, to be honest. Fantasy booking at its finest, says Zach Stone. Absolutely, man. That would be cool. Like the Hurt Business and just running the show with all of them. And I would really love to see intergender stables. That would be really cool. If you ever get another Survivor Series with NXT involved, we need to see Hurt Business versus UE. That'd be interesting. I would like to see that. I'd really like to see that. What happened to Eric and Ivar? The War Viking Machine Experience. They went poof, and no one knows where they are. So Leo, I know what happened to them. Ivar got injured. He did an outside dive. Dive to the outside. He got injured. I believe it's his neck or shoulder. He got injured, and WWE will not really use singles people from tag teams. So Eric is just kind of floating around. He's done some 24/7 championship stuff. I think he was a 24/7 champion just a couple weeks ago, and they did the Raw Underground stuff with him. Thank God that is canceled. So that's what's going on with them right now. I'm not sure what the recovery time is for Ivar. That'd definitely be something for someone to look into. Even if teams from NXT get called up, they break up. Yeah, they probably wouldn't even debut them together. It's it's insane. I don't understand. So next up, we have what should have been our main event for the night, right? We have Drew McIntyre and Sheamus taking on The Miz, John Morrison, and AJ Styles in a handicap match, which they ran back the match from last week. They really did. The main event from last week was Drew McIntyre and Sheamus versus The Miz and John Morrison, and AJ Styles was at ringside. This time they just kind of threw him in the match. And the match wasn't bad at all, I don't think. At least not to my standards, like a WWE standard. It was pretty enjoyable. But here you are having The Miz and John Morrison. They're always getting manhandled. They're always getting their ass kicked. They're always doing these terrible things that make them look stupid. They lost didn't The Miz and John Morrison lose a handicap match to Drew McIntyre as well? Like, why is this even still a thing? We know that he can beat them both on his own. We know that he's not scared of them and the Money in the Bank cash in. We know he doesn't care. And even I think the very beginning of the match was Drew McIntyre like literally laying out John Morrison with a punch. I can say ass. I just do it just because. I can bleep out whatever. I don't know. It's YouTube though. I don't know the rules around here. I don't know. So I don't know. This isn't it for me. I'm assuming, I mean, we all know that Drew McIntyre is going to beat AJ Styles at TLC. I would like to see The Miz at least start teasing a cash in. And we're getting close to the contract expiring too, aren't we? When is Money in the Bank? Money in the Bank 2020. When did this happen? Oh, May. So, okay, so we're not as close as I thought we are. Not as close as I thought we are. But, you know, we really need to start teasing some cash-in segments. We need to start working towards something here because none of this is interesting at all. And we all know that The Miz isn't going to beat up Drew McIntyre and win the championship. So doing them in these other things, I don't hate that they put him in this handicap match, but I would have liked to have seen AJ Styles kind of lay out Drew McIntyre, or all three of them would have just maybe attacked Drew McIntyre and said like, hey, you know what? screw the match. We don't care about the match. We're gonna get disqualified. We're gonna beat the hell out of Drew McIntyre and Sheamus with chairs, and then we're gonna attempt to cash in or something. I don't know. I mean, he's obviously gonna fail at some point, so I really wish that they would at least just tease it. We last saw Hackerman 5000 at Money in the Bank 2020. Really? Has it been that long? Wow. Money in the Bank 2020 seems like it was forever ago, to be honest. Like, literally seems like forever ago. It's absolutely insane. We had to witness having Drew and Sheamus make up sex backstage. Yeah, pretty much. So what happened in this match was AJ Styles got the blind tag, if I remember correctly, and Sheamus was still battling it out with John Morrison. Sheamus went to go hit John Morrison with a Brogue kick, but Morrison ended up moving out of the way, and Sheamus hit it on Drew McIntyre, dropped him for like 2 seconds. Drew McIntyre is not selling a finisher for nobody, not these days. So he just kind of rolls out of the ring and is pissed off. Sheamus is kind of shocked. He turns around. AJ Styles hits him with a phenomenal forearm and wins. Bam. That is done. No cash in tease. No trying to beat up Drew. No kind of nothing. So nothing really interesting here. And they said, you'll see a lot more of me, only to show up a grand total of 0 times afterwards. I hate booking sometimes. I know, Zach, it sucks. And it sucks, like, to see things that could be so special just not get used or just kind of fade away. It just kind of makes you wonder what things would look like had they made a different decision. And I would love to see maybe someone who's not with the company anymore just kind of go over some stories that never made it. You know, that'd be really cool, where they're like, hey, we were going to do this, but last minute we pulled the trigger, or we're like, nah, we're not going to do that. Not going to do that. So I would love to hear all the crazy stories, like, hey, we were going to push this guy, but we didn't. We were going to tell this crazy story, but we didn't end up doing it. I would love to see that. So someone, if you're listening, please do that, because we all want to see it. It would be fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. Can we get the bar reunion? Oh man, I wish. A part of me was like, during this Miz TV segment earlier, when Sheamus was like, oh, I'm not alone. Part of me was like, Cesaro, please, Cesaro, please. Plus, Sheamus, Cesaro, and Drew McIntyre would be a pretty cool little team. Not necessarily like a full team up, but like, just a cool little team working together here. I want to see Drew and Sheamus team for a while, then go their own separate ways, then have a match for the title like Bryan and Kane did. Yeah, I don't see them winning tag team gold or anything, but I'm sure they'll be buddies for a little bit after what we saw tonight before breaking up. So naturally, after this match, Drew McIntyre is pissed because he got hit with a Brogue kick from his own teammate. And not only that, but he lost the match. So backstage, they got in this huge brawl, and all the 24/7 championship people were essentially standing around. You saw Drew Gulak trying to record video of it and stuff like that. Pat Buck, a WWE official, I guess, if you want to call him that, he brought it. He got in the middle of it, tried to separate them. He got them apart. They looked at each other. They picked him up and put him through a table. So not the greatest night for Pat Buck, to say the least. After they did that, they just instantly became best friends again. And I can't remember who slapped who on the chest, but one of them slapped each other on the chest and said, "This round's on you," or something like that. And looks like they went to go get some drinks. Nice view of Titus Catering. Yeah, I would love to have me some Titus Catering. No lie. No lie. I would love to have some Titus Catering. Some of the food looks delicious. I would absolutely love to see some ex-employees talk about stories, man. Then again, anyone can say anything, but yeah, if someone is listening, please bring a wild story. Yeah, that's true. Anyone could just make it up. I don't know, but I think it would just be really cool to see, especially if it was a WWE documentary, just kind of like on how difficult, they could just be like how difficult it is to run the shows and how many moving parts there are, like a true behind the scenes of everything. That would be really cool. I would really like to see that. Ricochet was there too. That broke my heart. Was he? I didn't notice that. Imagine this: Drew, Sheamus, Cesaro, Andrade, Nakamura, Sami Zayn. Maybe pull up Killian Dane. They could run both shows if done right. So I'm glad that you mentioned something like that, Leo, because I was thinking about something like that the other day. Not necessarily anything to do with those people or anything, but I was trying to think of how cool it would be to have a really large stable and have them run the brands, not just Raw or SmackDown, but I'm talking have them run Raw and SmackDown, have them run Raw, SmackDown, and NXT. So the idea that I had was, I was thinking like of how much a shame it was that they had AJ Styles, Finn Balor, and the Good Brothers all together, but they always kept them separate. They never brought them together. So I was like, man, how cool would it be if they had like the club, you know, they had some sort of Bullet Club-esque type group here that had Finn Balor, AJ Styles. I mean, I'll say the Good Brothers, but obviously they're not there anymore. So, you know, you have your Good Brothers, and then you have everyone in Undisputed Era join too. So then you have this big super group, and you could have them occupy different things. And then for pay-per-views, you know, they could reunite, they could be together. Something that I feel like something like that would be really cool. And it would be really break the mold and be different than what they've been doing currently. They could even do it on Raw or SmackDown, you know, something like that. The OC having that segment with Finn on NXT was the closest we ever got to a full reunion. Yeah, it would have been so good. And, you know, something interesting to know too is that I think AJ Styles was mentioning that Finn wants to work with him, and they want to do some tag team work. So maybe that'll happen in NXT, or maybe after Finn loses the championship to Karrion Kross, he will come back to Raw or SmackDown. I guess it would be Raw, since that's where AJ Styles is. And maybe they can run the tag division a little bit. That'd be really cool. I would love to see Finn Balor and AJ Styles as a tag team. They're going to need a few to help them run the brand, like Sasha and Asuka. We could have got a Bullet Club in NXT. Finn, Gallows, Anderson, they should have never got released. Yeah, I mean, they were just getting paid too much. They're getting paid too much. They all know that they wanted to stop these guys from signing to AEW for years and years, so they offered them an ungodly amount of money, and then they regret it because they're paying all of these guys $1 million, nearly $1 million, to just be sitting at home doing nothing. Like, they did absolutely hardly anything with the Good Brothers. The fact that we never got the OC versus Undisputed Era is insane. How do you let that go? See, I don't know. You have all of these money matches that you can make sense of them somehow. Like, and honestly, we have, like, especially like me, like, I complain about the draft a lot. I complain about people staying on their brands, but you can make it make sense. And God, I don't think anyone's going to be like, oh, boo hoo, they had AJ Styles go to NXT and reunite the club and fight. I don't think anyone's going to complain about that. They're going to be like, you know what? I don't care. I'm going to let this one slide. I'm going to pretend like he's just there anyways, and I'm going to watch this banger match here. I don't care. So in my mind, the best inter-brand team could be the Firefly Funhouse. Get Ilya Dragunov and Damian Priest, Dexter Lumis, Alexa Bliss, Karrion Kross, even Velveteen in a bizarre way for brand domination. Yeah, I mean, you could probably paint it in a bunch of different ways, but something like that I think would be really cool. Even the Hurt Business would be really cool across multiple brands. Having the Hurt Business, the OC with Finn Balor and UE, the Stable Wars could have been legendary. Yeah, exactly. And then you could have like a huge event. Like you could base a Survivor Series around not necessarily a brand warfare, but like stable warfare between other people. You know, you could have 2 5-on-5 teams. You could have 3 5-on-5 teams, a 5-on-5-on-5 team. So something like that would be really interesting and definitely something different. Just anything that you can make sense of and be just a little bit different these days, I would really like to see. So hopefully, I don't know, maybe they'll figure something out like that out down the line. A Hurt Business expansion in SmackDown and NXT. Yep, absolutely. Absolutely. There you go. I'm sure they can make that happen. So next up on the list here, to get back to the show, we have Bobby Lashley versus Jeff Hardy. I was a little bit worried about seeing this match because I figured it was just to set up Jeff Hardy with a win and get him a match with Bobby Lashley at TLC for the United States Championship. And thankfully, I was wrong. This was a pretty good match. This was probably, I'm going to call this match of the night for me. This is my match of the night. Bobby Lashley versus Jeff Hardy. It was a good match. Bobby Lashley's been excellent, like I said earlier in the show. If you were here, I truly feel like MVP has brought back the life in these guys' career. And, you know, he's really saved Bobby Lashley, Cedric Alexander, and Shelton Benjamin. Bobby Lashley's always been featured, but never in a good way. Let's not forget the Bobby Lashley, Sami Zayn feud with his sisters and stuff like that. That was some terrible television. So he saved their lives, saved their careers. I'm very happy with where the Hurt Business is right now. And that's my match of the night. Bobby Lashley gets the win with the Hurt Lock, makes Jeff Hardy tap out. I guess something to know about this match is that before the match, Jeff Hardy was approached by Matt Riddle backstage with his bro nuts, and he was talking to him about pairing up as a tag team. He mentioned that him and his brother, they used to be the Hardy Boys. So he said, Matt Riddle and Jeff Hardy, they could be the Hardy Bros. And I'm not gonna lie, I want to see it. I want to see the Hardy Bros. I'm not mad at that tag team at all. I hope they actually do work towards that. Plus, the tag division needs all the help it can get. So why not? Matt Riddle is fantastic. Jeff Hardy's fantastic. It doesn't seem like they really have anything planned for them individually. Maybe Matt Riddle's going to go on and be the one to challenge Bobby Lashley for the United States Championship yet. I'm assuming he's not going to be successful. And if he's not successful, I would really like to see a tag team with Matt Riddle and Jeff Hardy. I think that'd be a lot of fun. And plus his name's Matt. So you still have Matt and Jeff, which would be just fun. You know, Stallion Jeff, absolutely. Matt Riddle's he's entertaining as hell. Like, he's just one of those people that he's goofy. He has a lot of fun. I really like it. So I would like to see that. I would really like to see that. And he looked very upset after the match when Bobby Lashley did not let Hardy out of the Hurt Lock. So that was good. I can accept seeing Stallion Jeff. I agree, Paco. Obi James says, I missed the Broserweights. Yeah, man. The Broserweights were fantastic. I like them as well, especially their little game show. Legado del Fantasma is Latin Hurt Business. Yeah, I like them as well. Legado del Fantasma, they're great. I wish they would do a little bit more with them in the Cruiserweight Championship. It don't really seem like they've been doing much with it. Matt Riddle is just one of the best parts of Raw also. I agree. I think he's one of those guys that you couldn't destroy. I think he's so goofy, and he can get away with doing those weird segments that others wouldn't be able to. And I talk about this a lot, especially like a lot of people complain about Chris Jericho segments being cheesy and stupid. And it's like, yeah, he can do it. If there's anyone that could do stupid, cheesy segments, it's Chris Jericho. And Matt Riddle fits right into that too. Right into it. The Viking Raiders eating turkey legs and fighting ninjas, not so much. That doesn't work. That's not very entertaining to me. But Matt Riddle being a comedy act certainly does. Man, how I miss Neville, King of the Cruiserweights. Yeah, that was a huge missed opportunity. Huge missed opportunity with them. He's been fantastic in AEW. And I'm excited to see more of Death Triangle. How much fish could Bobby Fish fry if Bobby Fish could fry fish? That's right. The answer is 420. 420.69 is the answer to that one. Next up, we have the main event of the show tonight. Randy Orton versus Firefly Funhouse Bray Wyatt. So this was interesting. I never complained about seeing Firefly Funhouse Bray Wyatt on TV. He's great. I love how he's so happy, so kind of childish and innocent. Just smiling, coming out of the ring, being happy as can be. I really love to see that. It's great. And Randy Orton is great as well. Even with all of the stuff that he went through with Drew McIntyre, you know, it is what it is, I guess. But he doesn't seem like he's lost any steps at all. He's still holding up good. And I think the story behind Randy Orton and Bray Wyatt could be a really good one. So I hope they don't kind of run it too fast. Like, I kind of feel like they might be with running it already at TLC, I feel like there's more story to be told, and I feel like there's more games to be played between them as well before having the match. So we have one more episode of Raw. So the next episode of Raw is the go home show for TLC. So, you know, if it feels a little bit rushed, maybe. I don't know. Maybe it's not going to be the end at TLC. So I don't know. But I would have liked to see it maybe extend out to the next one a little bit and kind of play slower to it. At the end, I was expecting Alexa with a mask, but anyways, it was a great ending. I was expecting Alexa to show up as well. Not with a mask. I don't personally think Alexa is going to have a mask. I could be wrong, but I don't know. I do like their dynamic together, though. It's been fantastic. Bray is great at everything, even commentary. Yowie wowie, we'll be right back. Yeah, that was great. Who was that he was chasing? Someone just like literally jumped over the barricade and he just like ripped their headset off. Although that was a weird time to go to commercial because they were both outside of the ring at like a count out at 5. And then they're just like, yowie wowie, we'll be right back. Like, wait, shouldn't you get in the ring? Because isn't this going to be a count out? I don't know. I would love to have Bray Wyatt on commentary more often. That would be interesting. That'd be interesting to see, like, have Bray Wyatt on commentary while Randy Orton's having a match or something, and just have him be happy as can be. That'd be great. That's something I would really like to see, actually. Damn, Lanaverse, big oof next week. That is right, Kevin. That is right. That's going to be a brutal one. And you already know it's going to have some sort of hokey finish to it. You think it was Tom Phillips? Yeah, it might have been. Yeah, I think you're probably right. Can we get Samoa Joe involved with Roman in some way as a manager of some sort or something? His mic skills are pure gold. Yeah, man, Samoa Joe was good. Samoa Joe's real good on commentary. Really good. Like, the dude just excels. I'm very excited. I will be very excited to see him return to the ring. But I'd be lying if I said that I wouldn't miss him on commentary, because I'll really miss him on commentary. He's so good. So good having him on commentary. Dream scenario, if next Survivor Series was WWE versus AEW versus New Japan versus Impact. Oh, that would never happen. That would never happen. No way. And I don't even know how you would book that. It would be a booking nightmare to book something like that. I just realized how much we need to see Joe back. We could have the Fiend versus Joe versus McIntyre. Yeah, there's a lot. There's a lot. One sec, got text. There's a lot of good dream matches that we could see with Samoa Joe. So hopefully he is good and he'll be back soon. I don't know what they're waiting for. I don't know if he's still healing. I don't know if they're just waiting for storyline wise. I don't know if they're just like, hey, you're just stuck on commentary now. You're not going to be wrestling anymore. I don't know what the goal is with Joe, but I hope he does return and I hope they do right by him. He would be a fantastic world champion in WWE. Can you see the women's main event WrestleMania again? Yeah, absolutely. I could see the women being the main event of WrestleMania. Sure. I just think it doesn't need to be forced. If it organically happens, then yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Especially when you have these NXT people moving up or whatever you want to call it, moving to Raw or SmackDown. When you have these NXT women, oh yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. His last injury was a concussion, right? Yeah, Zach, I believe, oddly enough, I believe he got a concussion on the set of a WWE commercial when he got thrown through the table, if I remember correctly. I can see the NXT women being on the main event, not main roster. I would see them. I don't think they would have an NXT main event for WrestleMania, no. They would have to be on Raw or SmackDown. Io Shirai versus Asuka or something, that would be good. I've always wanted to see Ember Moon and Asuka again. Yeah, table bump for a commercial. They showed it. They showed it a while ago. It was like a really slow motion thing, I believe. But yeah, he got a concussion from that. It was absolutely crazy. So for this match, anyways, to wrap this up, this match was good. Your typical Randy Orton, Bray Wyatt type deal here. Except at the end of the match, Randy Orton was getting the 3 count on Bray Wyatt when the lights started going out, Fiend style, you know, the whole sound, everything slowly going off. Randy Orton's pinning him, but the ref isn't counting. Oddly enough, I'm not sure why. And then all of a sudden the lights go out completely, and then they go back on with the screeching and the Fiend graphics all over the Thunderdome. Shows a close-up of Randy Orton, and then it pans over to see that he's laying on top of the Fiend. So that was a really cool transition. I'm not quite sure how they did it. They may have filmed it earlier or something like that, and then just kind of piped it into the live feed for the end of the show, because it was only like, I don't know, 2 minutes, 3 minutes. Lights go out. That's not the Fiend, you fool. That's the Foot Clan. No one else can turn off the lights. Yes, you're right. I forgot. You need to have Hackerman 5000 capabilities to turn off the WWE lights. I love this. The camera work was especially great. Yeah, the camera work with the Fiend is fantastic. They usually always do a really good job with the Fiend stuff, of him popping up in places. I love it. I've loved almost everything with the Fiend, aside from, Hell in a Cell and Goldberg. I've loved everything other than those two things, and I hate to bring them up because it hurts my head and my soul. It really hurts everything in my body to remember those. Didn't the Fiend bury Retribution? The Fiend single-handedly beat up everyone in Retribution, yes. On I think that was one of the first Thunderdome Raws or something like that, where he did that. So I don't know. This episode was not very good, to say the least. To sum it up, this episode was just not. It wasn't enjoyable. It dragged on for way too long. I feel like they should just have longer matches. I feel like that would really benefit them a lot. They did a lot of video packages tonight as well to kind of extend the show. They did a pretty large tribute to Pat Patterson tonight. They did a video for Drew McIntyre. I think they did a Randy Orton and Bray Wyatt video. Like, they just did a lot of video packages. What are your thoughts on people saying people like Johnny Gargano, Candice LeRae, Ciampa, and Undisputed Era are scared of getting called up? I wouldn't say that they're scared of getting called up. They probably just don't want to. Because why would you? Ciampa's already said that he would rather retire than wrestle on Raw or SmackDown. So I'm assuming that's still the case. Even though he did technically get drafted to Raw that one time with Johnny Gargano. But I guess we forgot about that. Or so. Abby cursing on commentary during a match would bring so much joy. I love how they have just Abby cursing all the time. It's so good. I love that. Like I said, I love everything that Bray Wyatt's doing. I love everything about the Firefly Funhouse and the Fiend. It's just all so good. It's so good. I'd be scared to be called up too. Have you seen what they did with Andrade and Aleister Black? Yeah, Aleister Black is nowhere to be seen. So I'm not quite sure what they're going to do with him, or if they're ever going to do something with him again. They're probably still at war with each other, because he wants to go back to NXT and they just fired his wife. So they're probably not on the best of terms, if you can imagine. But anyways, that's gonna wrap it up for me tonight. It's been an hour and 40 minutes. Yes, hashtag no filter Abby. That's right. Hour and 40 minutes. This was a fantastic time. Still getting a little bit used to the flow of everything, but hopefully you guys had a good time. And I'm gonna try and get Discord up and running sometime this week. Hopefully, maybe before the next show. I would really like to have you guys be able to get in a call, and that way, if you want to chat, be a part of the show, ask some questions, maybe just talk about some segments, some stuff that you liked, some stuff you didn't like, kind of have like a debate, if you will, just some friendly chats. If you guys want to pop in for that, I really want to get that going. That'd be a lot of fun, I think. And Discord is available on all phones as well, so you don't have to have like a microphone or anything. You could literally just hop in like a phone call as well. So I think that'd be cool. I really want to get that going. I do want to do. I think I'm going to cover Impact tomorrow. We have Kenny Omega appearing on Impact tomorrow, so I think I'm going to cover the entire show. I guess I'll see if that's the first thing that starts off the show. I might just tune out, but afterwards. But I don't know. We'll see. As of right now, I believe I'm going to cover the show, and we'll talk about it. There will not be an Impact post show, obviously. Impact beating Raw ratings? I don't think so. I think Impact had like 160,000 viewers. Yeah, I think Collins would be a lot of fun. I want to find a way to be a little bit different. Have you guys involved, be more community driven than just kind of me. I'm not sure how I will schedule them or how I will filter them or make them work, but you know, everything's going to evolve as we go. This is only the third time I've done this and I still have no idea what I'm doing. So thank you all for tuning in. I really appreciate it. So yeah, we'll have some Impact coverage tomorrow with Kenny Omega being on the show. And then obviously we will have some NXT and AEW Dynamite coverage on Wednesday. And I will be live on Wednesday about 10 or 15 minutes after Dynamite and NXT go off the air as well. And we'll be here doing the same old thing, chatting and talking. And then maybe I'm not sure if I will or not, but on Thursdays, I think I want to drop like a podcast with just like a theme to go over and chat about. I don't think they'll be live, so maybe take questions or stuff like that before. On Friday, we'll be back again for SmackDown. 10 or 15 minutes after the show goes off, we will be live for the post show. And then I think this Sunday, if you guys are down, I kind of want to hold so a lot of people ask me a lot of questions during these. So I kind of want to do a Q&A on a Sunday. I normally do them in my stories, but I figured maybe I could dedicate an hour or 2 hours or so of my Sunday to be here. And anyone and everyone can just pop in as they please, ask a couple questions. We can talk about literally anything. There will be no script to follow for the show. We'll just literally be shooting the for that night. So if you guys are down for that, that'd be cool. I will 100% do that instead of the stories. And I'll probably make a post about it maybe on Thursday or something. So yeah, anyways, thank you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed the show. Yeah, that'd be a lot of fun. I'll be down for Sunday. Cool. Okay. Good night. Time to focus on NXT, not on Raw. Yes, that's right. So cool. Sounds like you guys are in for that. Cool. All right. So yeah, I'll make a post for that, and maybe we'll try to do something like that on Sunday. I think that'll be a lot of fun, just kind of hanging out. And yeah. So thank you guys for tuning in. I will see you all on Wednesday after AEW Dynamite and NXT. Have a good night, everyone. Peace.